Good morning, everybody. How are you today? Welcome to the Trade the Pool live show on a Wednesday. CPI data has been released today. I've with me. How are you doing, Deanna?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Brilliant. Okay, so put your tickers in the chat. Let's see them, and we'll take a look, and we'll be right with you. Okay, so CPI, let's have a look at the NQ. It went crazy. Look at that. It was absolutely crazy. I was just having something to eat. Where's that come out and boom, it wicked up. It was toying with this level. Look, can you imagine if I thought, oh, do you know what? I fancy getting into that before just before the data. Well, that would have been wrong because it spiked right up, hit the backside of that channel, I think that we was talking about yesterday, and then dumped straight off. So yeah, what do you think of that, Deanna?
Yeah, that was quite the move. I wasn't expecting to see such a big move. It did go earlier in the session and took out the Asian range high, dropped back into the Asian session, and then took out the London open high, and then the London open close, and then finally blasted all of them and just absolutely tanked. So it was a heck of a morning so far.
It has been. It has been. Okay, so let's see who we've got in. So George and Great Scott and Ricardo. Good morning to you guys and everyone else. We are looking at Adil this morning. That's right. Great Scott. Adil is the hot stock of the morning. A quick look at that. So what have we got here? Have I got anything above this? I don't have anything above this right now. I can cut some levels from today. But this has just been thumping through them benchmarks at the moment. So I'm going to do some more levels on these to see which one of these may or may not hold. And I'm going to check the news as well on this. Peer-review publication highlighting promising safety data and higher patient. Okay, so they've got another patent. So it's a patent award. Developing therapies and treatment. Okay, that's the whole lot. I just actually want the news. All right, let me search a little bit more for that. What have we got here? Peer review publication highlighting promising safety data.
Go ahead and walk through the pre-trade.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's do that. Sorry, Deanna. Let's do that. We just said that before the stream, and I've gone on with that. Let's do that first. Let's go.
That's okay. That's okay. So just a reminder, we're starting out just to get confidence up, get our mind ready. This comes before you trade, before you look at news, before you look at the charts. It's easy to forget, but we're just doing 2 minutes, or we can do 1 minute. I like to do 2 minutes, but you're just standing in a power pose, so your hands on your hips, or you can do your hands overhead. Focus on your breathing for 1 minute to 2 minutes. I know it's a little weird to do on camera. And I like to couple it with breathing, smiling, and also thinking about what I'm grateful for. It's a great way to start the day. So if you feel more comfortable, you can have your hands on your hips and do that too. So I will set a timer and we'll just get started.
All right, let's do it. I'm going up.
In through your nose, hold at the top, and exhale. Chin up. You can smile as you're doing it, breathing in. Thinking about what you're thankful and grateful for. Great way to start your morning. We're almost there, 20 minutes to go, or 20 seconds rather. That would be a long time. Last breath in, big exhale. Excellent. You're doing such a great job, Scott. Bravo.
Oh, there. No worries. Got that
Okay.
covered.
So the next step is just to go ahead and review your trading plan real quick. It only takes a minute. This is specific to you. You can think about what your trading plan is and just reviewing step by step. Is there news for the day, high impact news? What structures are you looking for? Whatever is relevant to your trading plan. Every single day, just reading through it very quickly and then thinking about if you're in a good mindset to trade. If you're excessively stressed or had a fight with your spouse or something like that, might not be the best day to trade. Step 3 is strategy visualization and specifically thinking about wins and losses. So do you want to go ahead and do this real quick, Scott?
Yeah, I'm good for this.
Okay, so we're just going to start. You can close your eyes if you like. Think about what it is, what it looks like in your mind if you're entering a position and then you're losing. And think about how it feels in your body, what emotions you're having, what sensations you're having. I might feel something in my stomach. I might feel my heart start to race, and I'm just working to tune that down or calm that down. Sitting up, shoulders back, chin up, and thinking about my thoughts in my head, and I can replace those thoughts with, I'm fine, I'm not in danger, the stop is there to protect me, okay? And likewise, you can visualize yourself winning. Again, it goes into your spot where you're gonna enter, and then watch as the candle goes toward your profit target, and you're focusing on keeping your body calm. Maybe you're experiencing joy or happiness, and that's fine, but just turn it down, tune it down, so you're not getting carried away, and think about your thoughts. I'm not a hero. I'm not a genius. This is just part of what I do. Okay, so that's it. Last, fourth step is to think about what is your specific goal for the day? So what specifically is it that you want to work on today? Okay, whatever that is, typically it helps to work on the goal for a week or 2 weeks or even a month and really just hone in on that one specific thing that you want to work on and that you want to fix as you're improving as a trader. Also think about the parts of yourself, right? So like the little angel in the cartoons, you have the angel and the devil on one shoulder. Okay, you're letting the part of yourself that is responsible, business-minded, rational, that's who you want to be in charge today, and that's who you want to have calling the shots. The impulsive side of you, or the fun seeker, the thrill seeker, if you're trying to be consistently profitable, you want to save that for the weekend, right? Save that part of yourself for when you're having fun with your friends or your family later. And really think about why you're here and why you're doing what you're doing so that you can choose the right behaviors to trade well. Okay?
Loving that. Okay, so we should all be set now, everyone on the in the chat. I'm ready. You're ready. Should we go and have a look at Adil now? Okay. Adil is making new highs. I'm going to try and cut some more levels on this, and then we'll have a look at the poll that's going on, which is missing arm according to VSync. So we've just got Intel and Nvidia on that poll, I believe, which was sitting on the thumbnail there. So we'll have a look at that in a second. So I'm thinking there is going to be another huge level here. So I start off with the smaller levels, kind of intraday. So if I'm looking at the lows from actually a couple of days back here, and that's what I'm looking for. So we've got a level up there higher now. If I go to this higher high instead of the lower low that was back here earlier. So I have this level here. Now there is an absolutely crazy one that's sitting back here, but I'm not going to use that quite yet. We'll see how we get on with $2.80. And we've been here before on Adil, right? So this is not a new stock. So this could be a backside. What happened before was a 420 run to a benchmark 2. Some nice pullbacks to sell side liquidity, but aside from the initial short up there at 380, which was kind of nice, it didn't fade all day. It did take its time. And I wouldn't really call it an all-day fader. It just kept coming into that first side of liquidity. Now, let's see how low we got. So we did go much lower than that. Did we get all the way down to this one here? just sitting down at 125 because that was never really tapped into. Yes, we did, and a little bit lower than that. Okay, so we've been to the lowest place that I think that stock can go and still be above $1, and now it's taking a run up. So if I look at it on the higher time frame, right now I would literally go from the very high to the very low that we have here and just see where that sell side is. And that sell side is residing, a whole big chunk of it between 3 and 350. And the benchmark that I just drew on there is almost at exactly the same place. So we'll see if Adel can get into the benchmark, into the red. Should mention always the midpoint level that I throw in there just in case it acknowledges it before it goes up and does it again. It's kind of what it's doing at the minute. But okay, so a whole bunch of levels here that it's working through. And at the minute, all I'm going to do to see if it's going to continue is take the last couple of swings and identify that we are still holding buy side liquidity on these each time. So obviously for that to change and to get a change in character, then we would need those to foul, obviously, to get some proper downside. Otherwise, every time we punch back down into these, we could just be grabbing some liquidity to go higher. So the most recent one there is going to be at 230. And we'll see where we punch above. Morning, Scott. How you doing? Trader Life, you're on taking the short on TMTC this morning. Okay, where's that TMTC? I'll have a look at that in a second. So let's just put a little alert down here, see if we can get down into that area for another push up. So I'll be listening out for a deal on the tape when it comes. We're a quarter past the hour at the moment. So I just look at interested to see that ticker that Trader Life is pointing out there, TMTC. Quick look at that. Wow. Yeah, that's very sketchy on the volume for me. I'm not too keen on that. It's 2 volumes sitting on that pot, but I'd need to hear that coming on the Scanners Trader Life for me to do something with that at $12. If you're looking for an area on that, I don't even see anything. Yeah, no, that's too sketchy for me. That one, Trader Life. And I'll have a look at APM in a second. But first, I'm interested to know, Deanna, what have you got for the NQ on? Are you with me, Deanna? Are you okay? No worries. Not at the minute. I'll carry on here. So we will have a look at the other one that you're looking at, Trader Life, then, which is APM. APM. Okay, APM. Oh, I've obviously done a paper trade on APM. That's up 1,000. That's nice. So APM has been to benchmark up there at $15. And this is when I say it kind of, this is the kind of buy side pool that it can rest at for, you know, it will look to rest at it. It doesn't always have to kind of go sideways into it, but it will look for it before it potentially does something else, which is clearly what's happening at the moment. Where's the pre-market on this? Is it up there at 10? Okay, so if I'm taking, let me jump down to 2 hour, just get a little bit more info there. So the highest to the very lowest is going to be up here. So if the sell side pool is sitting up there around 12.30 to 15. Now we don't necessarily need to go and get that if we are backside. Almost tried it there at 11.76, but it is just above that. And then I'd be looking at these ones here for where we're at now. So you can see there we held this one up here at top of it of $11. So the next one I've got is sitting, I kind of feel like we're there, aren't we? So yeah, right there is that next sell side. So assuming this is backside it's a push off backside, but assuming it's a kind of a retest of what we've already done there, then we need to watch out. Let's drop down now to a 3 minute or something, 2 minute. So we need to watch out for where we are now. So the top of this being at 1040. Okay, so let's see if this continues to push. We'll put it on watch. If it continues to push, we're looking for 1040. For it to kind of reject and turn around for getting short. That's kind of what I'm thinking at the moment. Where's the VWAP on this? VWAP is sitting there at 950, so we'll keep an eye on that as well. But yeah, that's what I'm thinking. So again, same as always, if we break 1040 to the upside and close, it's going to try to fill the gap to 1240 in my opinion. If not, we're looking for a push up to this 1040 and see if we can't get some rejection. Deanna, do you have any kind of levels? I know it's a tough one, but do you have anything that could support the NQ that you're looking at right now?
Well, so price is holding at the level that it's currently at. I'm a little concerned about the relatively equal lows here. So this is from NFP
Deanna,
last week. Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Just need you to add the screen, please.
Oh, gotcha.
I was just pulling it up just to need to get rid of some of these lines so it's not too. Oh no,
all right, so here's the drop from NFP. This was pre-NFP. This was FOMC meeting, and then NFP was here on the 5th. So we dropped down to this low, and this level was kind of already revisited from quite a while ago. So I would have thought that price would have wanted to come back down and test these levels, but now it's starting to push higher. So it's possible if price breaks higher here, we might see price start to reverse and fill back in some of this drop.
Gotcha. So are you going to stay away from this morning, or are you looking for, I mean, that's going to be a hell of a fair value gap right there.
Yeah.
What are you going to do with that one?
This is a lot of momentum to the downside. So really it's pretty ugly action. If it were to drop below this swing low here, where we have a lot of liquidity resting under these levels here, I would be more interested then. You can see the liquidity level started all the way back from March 19th.
Yeah.
March 19th, April 4th, April 5th, and again, April 10th. So a ton of liquidity here, along with a longer term swing low here. But like you said, this is a really, really big move down, and it's consistent with this move here. So what could happen is it might be possible to look for a move higher and then a drop again.
Gotcha. Okay. So let's see what I've got on that one as well. See if we're aligned down there. So this is what I kind of had yesterday, right? So I think when we left the show yesterday, I think we just punched into, let's bring this across. I think we just punched into this level down here on the buy side. And I was saying to you, if I was looking for it tomorrow, this would be the level that I'd kind of look to sell at. Well, that got there yesterday afternoon.
Fashion.
Yeah. So that was NQ straight up there and back. And then the fact that I was looking for another level down here, right? So if I was to draw that in, I would be looking for it just a little bit lower than where it was. And it didn't get there, and it started to turn around and hold its VWAP. So I was like, okay. And then it pushed above. So that was that for the kind of session. And then we Globexed sideways overnight, and then so from this swing A to B, I then had this sell side pull this morning, which was one tap in and then an absolute strike above it and slam back down like a WWE wrestler there. It just really was slammed down. So now I'm kind of looking left. So this one was there yesterday. We've passed that. We've almost filled that gap now. So it's whether we not use the backside but it's definitely done as a pool of liquidity. It's gone. So now I'm looking down here. So 8032 to the 79 kind of 15 area. Yeah. So I think I prefer lower. It's just a case of is there any way of getting into it before it pushes lower? Because I don't like the double bottom either. So yeah, it's a bit hands off for me at the moment. I'd rather let it play out on the open.
It's extended to the downside, but there's still room to go to the downside. But shorting here is a little precarious.
Yeah, I think so. Where would the VWAP be on that huge move? Having a look at it. Let's get some. So we're looking at 209 right now on that. If we poke to that, and if I was going to look for that to go there, let's see which one works out. I've got 185. So that's where if we was going to pull back but not actually run to the liquidity. Let's put the liquidity pool on there. We'll just see how it plays out later on. I don't think it will get there this session, but we've gone from that high to this low. And see how it's almost exactly back where it was such an aggressive move. It's almost exactly where it come back from. So taking that lot off to see what we've got here. Yeah, so initially, let's get these two off because they're no longer. Yeah, so I'd initially look for that, not this one, 85 to see if that will stop the uptrend or the up push to see if we can get down to 30. So let's just see how that works out. I don't know if that'll have any value at all on CPI day. But there you go.
I think a lot of times the afternoon is a better opportunity on trading the NQ after a huge move like this, because with the big move down, if we could get a nice slow gradual move back up into that fair value gap, for me, it would be somewhere between 234 as high as maybe 305 would be an area that I would be interested in looking to get short potentially.
Cool. So yeah, let's see. So I was just reading there as well what VSync was saying here. Buy the dips, feeling a little bit risky because it will be the impulse of so many. That was the crypto dipping early, so I'm dipping a toe in there, and he might take a look at coin and hood and miners this morning. Okay, VSync, like it. What else we got? Yeah, anything else you need us to look at? Take a look. Otherwise, I'll just work through a couple more. Here's one we've got to look at today. ICT. It's actually not ICT, it's ICCT, but we've got to call it out, right? It would be rude not to, I think. So, but this is a funny one because if I look at this on the higher time frame, actually it'll have to be the daily then. This is one of those stocks that I keep an eye on to see if it would give me some unusual volume again. I love the way this comes off and it's just down, and then boom, you get an unusual volume day that slams it right up. And then I love the way it just goes sideways after that. No new lows below that low. So if I pull that up, that's probably, I don't know whether this is going to work out perfectly, but yeah, it's just a little bit lower. I thought it might be, but it's kind of sitting there. That's kind of what's holding it up. So if it doesn't do a new low, this could be the absolute lows we've got. Now let's have a look at a 5 minute, and the 5 minute, which is intraday, we're still in this zone, which is kind of like, what? It's so big. It's got so much upside potential, this stock. It's up there at 14. If it follows that pattern, this is my small cap breakers strategy that says exactly that. It's got to come down, then it's got to go sideways, then it's got to perk up on a volume day. And then after that, I'm looking to see it break out of that manipulation zone, because ultimately I'd be looking for that gap there, which is a big ask at the moment, given where it is. But what I've got to do then is just see what's happened on the day. And on the day today, given these lows here, it has given us benchmark 1 and benchmark 2, of which it's in to benchmark 2 at the moment. So pre-market play. Beautiful short all the way down. So now we're looking to see what it does down here. It may not be today, but I've got ICCT generally on the watch for a completely different strategy to see if it can work out here, because this is an opportunity where you could actually buy around $1 and it could go all the way to 15 if I look on the daily. So let's see. And there's also a liquidity pool up there. So like you can see, I've drawn these ages ago. But yeah, still kind of in play. So it's doing the right thing. All that would negate this is if we go below 113. Okay, so that's ICCT. What else is going on? Deanna, have you got anything else on what we want to look at?
I was looking at Netflix this morning, and Netflix is, along with NQ, has really quite a bit down pre-market, but at least right now it's opening well below the prior day close. So NQ definitely looks heavy, but there could be a bit of a play on Netflix.
Okay. Let's see. Put that on the watch today to see how that goes. So, I'm just going to look at your chart there. So, are you looking for something to sweep on Netflix first?
So, say that again.
Are you looking for price to sweep one of these highs before you'd make a decision, or you?
So, depending on how Netflix opens, it's going to be, at the moment, it looks like it's going to be opening below the last 5 days, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days or so. So I'd want to see how it opens to see if it starts to break higher or if it just stays heavy with NQ.
Okay, no problem. Right, let's have a look at the chat. We got anything else going on in the chat? Okay, so I'll have a look at Nvidia. We'll do the open and then we'll have a look at Nvidia and Intel here. Let's grab the screen back a second. So Nvidia off with in pre-market, just in line with the CPI data coming out there, which was less a kind of like a point higher than expected. So a big move for just that point. But let's see what we've got here at just 45 seconds to go before the open. So I think I'm gonna look at a deal and the Nasdaq for the open to concentrate and see what that does given the CPI data, and then we'll take a look over Nvidia and Intel. Let's grab this. Back to NQ. Okay, so pushing higher. So I'm looking to see how we react to that 85 level. There we go. Okay, so let's see what action we've got. Looking at Adil there, it's a slight push up, but nothing major on Adil at the moment. Exactly almost the same as the NQ right now. So just looking at a few things. Looks like Google's coming off, Meta's coming off right now. But just a little bit, see what Adil is doing. Okay, so that's got to put an alert up here so we know whether we did touch into that level. That's my tick data. So that's a tick data push. So that's one of the breadth of markets indicating that the overall market there has just pushed down on volume. So yeah, Meta down. Tesla's poking up. So is Amazon. And the NQ. Okay, let's leave the NQ there a second.
And Netflix as well.
Have you got Netflix up? Let's have a quick look at Netflix.
Oh, now it's starting to.
Whoa. Okay.
To move lower.
There's a gap there.
So, I need to see a little bit of information before I would be willing to trade anything this morning because NQ is pushing higher, but we don't have a strong break yet. There was a break previously with a fair value gap. That was pretty early on, but that's pretty deep into this area here.
Gotcha. Let's keep an eye on that one and see. I'm not sure that the Nasdaq's not going to take that push up yet, though. I'm not convinced about the red we're seeing right now necessarily. Let's see. Let's have a look at a couple of these large caps, see if we can get some direction. Okay, so Meta, oh my goodness. So even that push down hasn't got Meta really convinced about, didn't even get that down to the bottom of its range at all there. So let's we'll keep an eye on Meta. Tesla was the one that was pushing up from the open. Okay, I'm just gonna switch to Adil because I'm feeling a little push down on Adil here. Okay, so a push up on the open and then kind of a rejection. There was that liquidity pool that we said it could pull into to do that. So it has. So the next point here is right here at about 240, which it's just doing again. So buy side pool sitting there. Literally was very close to this benchmark 273 there. Benchmark starts at 275. Not hearing anything on the tape right now for ADIL, but seeing if we can't get a push back up there a little bit deeper would be nice. I do like that wick, but I don't like it on the open so much. I'd like to see a little bit of a punch up between the longs getting in a little bit more above pre-market high there, but let's see what happens here. Great Scott, you got DAL? Sorry, I missed that. Just a quick look. DAL. So Adil's on the tape here at the moment. Oh, that's a nice push from Dow. That's a huge. That's its. I'd say that's its resting pull down there. Look, yeah. So that's a huge, nice push from DAL. Got to check your downside for that. Your downside on that is going to be, everything's going red again. One sec. Right. So up there at 49 for that. Be careful around 49 if you're long DAL. Oh, it's sell side. Come on, man. Yeah, so be careful on Dow there. We'll put it on watch if you need me to come back to that in a minute. Give me a shout. Back over to ADIL here. Okay, that didn't turn into too much, that push. So just keeping an eye on that. Let's put the channel in, because through those each of those liquidity pools is creating our channel. Use that to the upside just in case we get another push. But right now, IFBD is being called in my ear. So the VWAP sitting down here at 230 at the moment. Qs need to level these up because they've gone off my screen. So IFBD on the tape here. Let's have a quick look. Anyone's got IFBD? Whoa. Okay, VWAP off. All right. So is that like, yeah, that's, oh, we've been before. Was that the other day? What happened the other day? So didn't fill the gap over here last time. Did we get lower or have we just been trailing? So literally just been trading that buy side here. Oops, no, didn't get there. All right, so we broke below that. So we're testing the backside of that now at 510. Let's get that away because it's putting me off there. And this drop, just looking for a bit of sell side, see where we could punch up to if this does want to go today. Okay. Around about there. And then let's see what we've got today. So up there in the fives, and I'm thinking we're going to go, let's see if we can't get some alignment here. $6.17 for benchmark 2. And oops, that's our YouTube link. Okay.
And Q is starting to punch higher now.
I was just literally going to say I'm getting all the main Mag 7s shouted in my ear at the moment. So that's what I've got for IFBD, which has just been pushed on the tape. We'll see how far it goes. Has it been halted? It's been halted. It's been halted there at 35 minutes past the hour and 17 seconds. So that's just going to start in 40 past the hour and 17 seconds. So we'll keep an eye on that. Just going to see and alert that up above 530, see if it can crack benchmark 1. Okay, what you're looking at, Delinda, on a screen over to you right now. A deal's breaking that level, by the way. A deal's coming off that first buy side. Just got your screen on there, Delinda, to see that push on the NQ. What you got?
Yep, NQ starting to push higher. I am looking at Netflix for a possible entry on Netflix. If NQ continues to push, if we get a retracement here, 611.36 is where I'd be looking to go long on Netflix.
Sorry, say that again. 611.36.
611, what did I say? 30, yeah, 36.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay.
There we
go. 611.37, right in that area.
Righto. So there's the break on ADIL of that buy side liquidity pool. So that should see momentum in. The target for me would be down here at 192. I'm just going to throw the VWAP on there and see what we can get. Everything really pushing here. Nvidia we'll take a look at in a second. So 191. Just seeing if that can push down there. So that isn't, if that's not going to do that in one hit, see, ideally what I want to see is that first sell side for me. So if I'm going to get my perfect kind of criteria, the confirmation and everything, that's what I'd be looking for. Is I'd love to see this. Now we've broken that sell side. So rather than chase it from 222 to 190 is to wait and see if I can't get back to 250 and it fail again. That would be the better trade for me. So just going to put an alert up there. Now let's take a look at NVDA. So NVDA is up there. Let's check did we get a poll confirmation? No, I don't know about I haven't got the poll results here. So NVDA is pushing up. I've got a sell side liquidity pool for NVDA up there, just a tad higher. And if I'm looking at the pre-market, so I'm looking at that whole range of the pre-market there to see if we've got a level up there, and that level would be in the sell side liquidity pool up there around 866. So let's see if we can't get any of that. I wonder if that's a benchmark 2 as well. Yep, it's a benchmark 2 as well. So I really like that level up for NVDA at 866. Benchmark, thank you. So got a lot of alignment up there if we can push higher there for NVDA. Now versus Intel. Oops. So versus Intel, whoa. There you. Oh no, that's what I was going to say. That's not. I was going to say that's a complete difference. Let's see.
I think you're still on my chart.
Oh my god. There we go.
It's okay.
Okay. INTC. I'll show you NVIDIA again in a sec. So INTC is, yeah, so it's kind of less. If you look at INTC's range to what I was expecting to the upside, it's not being as responsive to everything else that's going on in the market, because it would be looking to get up there around 39.25, and at the minute it doesn't seem to have any enthusiasm to do that. What it has done is just done its little best execution off the last swing, and it's sitting there at 38.20. So that's the level that it is trying to push some orders out to the short side before it decides what it's going to do. So we'll see if it can close above that on Intel. But looking versus Nvidia, I have a sell side liquidity pool above up here, but different to Intel, Nvidia is using its whole range up there, and I see that area just up there at 866. That is aligned with off the very lows here, and that first spread that went in, that is aligned up there with a benchmark 2 at 866 as well. So I have sell side liquidity, I have a benchmark, and a best execution up there at 866 for Nvidia. Intel just really not doing, Intel's just kind of poked above and really gone for some small sell orders there at the moment in comparison. So don't know what you guys have got on that. Gil, good morning. How are you doing? Did we have the results of the poll there, or have I missed that in private? Just if you've got that, be interesting to see, because they've both reacted completely differently this morning. But for the meantime, I'm going to grab back to ADIL, see if it's going to give anything back. No, it looks like it's going to head straight down for it. Oh, you never know. Okay, so this, I'm just going to drag this down as we put new lows in. It's not a great amount, but I don't want to miss that touch. If it goes in, anything around 245 would be really nice to see if we can't get short. At the moment, which one is it using? It's not quite got to that one, but ultimately I'd like to see 195 on ADIL. What else have we got? Quick look back at NQ. Okay, so see now NQ's touched into this level. It's acknowledging it, right? And that's what I like to see, is acknowledging it. It's not come hard off it to say, no, I'm definitely pushing down off this, but it is acknowledging that 185 level. So for the minute, I'm going to, and did we get that? Did we get? Yeah, so that's kind of it. A really good push down. The same as the small caps for me on NQ is, okay, is it going to try and break the buy side liquidity? If it doesn't, yeah, everyone else that's a double bottom. For me, it's just above. So then I'm just going to do the same thing now, is to see if we are going to go higher. Do we want to grab and acknowledge that little best execution level for shorts? Do we want to get there and bring it back down? So this level will now be the key for me then, which is to say, if we break below 83 ish and close, then I think we're going to fill that gap and we could go down lower. If we're doing what we're doing now, which is breaking above, then we could come back all the way and grab this liquidity back up. Obviously we're going to have VWAPs, grab moving averages, all that sort of stuff in the way to see if we get anything hold that up, but that's what I've got at the moment in any case. So I like to use these blue lines on here. I anchor these off of very volatile. So I think these are anchored off of kind of the lows of yesterday. But see this very volatile period that slams down. I like to acknowledge that and the retest and see if that has any value to support or resistance in the future. Got a lot of red coming on those tickers. That doesn't look like Nvidia quite made it up to 66, did it? Not quite. 63. Whoa, I'm gonna have to turn that one down. Okay, everything's slamming. Let's just go back there. You can see the NQ's now rejected that 66 level. So now if it's coming down to this 10 area, that's what we're going to look at. But you'll see that, I mean, everything's going crazy in my head right now. So just look at NVDA. Okay, so there's the push, right? So we didn't make the benchmark. We didn't make perfect execution for the sellers. I mean, I am just throwing these on, right? You can give me a few cents or a couple of dollars, but that's the push into the sell side liquidity. It's rejected in time with NQ pushing into its best execution level for me for shorts, just for the shorts at this point in time. And another flush now. Then Apple's joining the crowd by the looks of it. A really hard push down as well. So it's just about how we can get into this morning. Really, that was That was a nice hold there. Just looked like it was pushing up. I'll have to turn that down a little bit more because it's all going crazy. Oh,
Netflix is pulling back into it pushed strongly higher and is starting to pull back really nicely. It'll depend on if NQ will hold or not at these levels. Right now we're in a really nice, this is a pretty strong pullback for NQ. So as far as going long, it's a little suspect, I think, but we'll see what happens here.
Okay. So the NYSE tick has just gone off again to the downside. So that means the NYSE, let's see if I can show you the NYSE tick, and I'll answer your question in a second there, Mr. T. The tick, the cumulative tick, is what is happening with with every stock in the NYSE. Now there is one for NQ, but generally still people use the whole exchange on the NYSE to do it as well. They are kind of correlated in any case, but what you find is the market will track intraday through the 400s. And then if it pushes higher, so at this point in the day, if you look back at the chart for the NQ or for the ES, you would probably see that this was the high of the kind of session at that point when it peaked up there. On news days, or just sometimes on the open or the close, where you get the high of day or low of day, you can see that push as well. So 1,000 is an extreme. So that's what we're getting on CPI day. We punched well below minus 1,700 there, then another punch below 1,000. This is the next one. That's why the alert's going off for me, is telling me 3 times to have a reading of over 1,000 on the whole exchange. And again, now 4 times in that session is generally extremely bearish, but you have to watch out that what it does at these extremes is whip back all the other way, right? I think this was the FOMC, is whip back all the other way, the other side. So you just need to be careful. It's a good indicator, but you can't literally swear by it to get short. But we just keep an eye on that in the background. Let's go back to NQ, see what we're doing. Okay, so Mr. T, your question was about the green and red shaded blocks. So these are, oh wow, look at that tap in. Look at that tap in. Let's see what happens here. I've got some more red off Tesla. Sorry, the red and green shaded box are hidden liquidity pools, and what I mean by hidden is they are not on your level 2. The orders are not sitting down here. Wow, gotta turn that down 1 second. The orders are not sitting there necessarily on your level 2 at 18,100, let's say, or up here at 18,400. So you're not going to see them on the kind of level 2 software that you've got. You're not going to see them on the dome or the ladder. But as price comes into these levels, the liquidity providers provide liquidity in here in terms of aggressive orders. That means they're effectively market orders, but they're released by the machine, basically, that pushes those orders out, and liquidity comes into the market at that time that we come into here. So at the minute, Nasdaq is getting that liquidity come in. It's going off like crazy on my scanner, which I do need to turn down in a minute because I can't find the volume. It's ignoring me. I'm turning the volume down and it's just going no. All right, so so that buy side liquidity has just come in. Oh, now it's rested. So that's the point. It's if it's screaming in my ear and then it stops, it's like, okay, could that be it? Could we now stop going higher? But ultimately, I'm looking for those orders to come in here, and that's how I listen to them, is by listening to the scanner that is aligned with certain criteria to see the speed of those orders coming in. So it's unusual high speed of orders that have been broken down. So big order broken down into like little chunks, and they just flush through the tape very, very quickly. So that's what I'm expecting to see at these levels. So if I see that, then it's a nice confirmation signal for me. So a deal here is getting, let me see if it's getting, everything's gone green on there for the moment as well. So a deal, yeah, it doesn't feel like I'm going to get it right. It feels like it's going to, we're going to have, we're very close to these moving averages. We are on a buy side pull that didn't get taken out and on its initial run in its entirety. So, and we've just got a color change here. So we're going to see if those guys that get long on this color change that's just occurred. So a deal could push now, which is what I want it to do. And I want those guys to get long. I'm happy for those guys to get paid, but only up to 250 because that's where I want to short. So, but as we didn't reach the 190 area, that short can still be on if we get up there. How's Netflix doing, Deanna?
I just, it was, let me click back over here. I have a level lined up, but we just haven't got quite there yet. So 611, 37, it dipped back into the 50% level, but hasn't made it all the way. So I was just looking over at Microsoft to see if that might be a more feasible area to get inside this fair value gap potentially. So I think this could be a possibility here. If Netflix isn't going to pull back, if NQ is going to go ahead and move forward.
All right. Okay. Gotcha. I'm not going to ignore what's in the chat here because clearly, clearly I've got a fan today. So that is the name of my son. So, and I'm his dad. So clearly someone is having a little bit of they're kind of off from school, still on their Easter holidays for the moment. So yes, thank you for loving my content. I appreciate it. I know you're after a shout out. So there you go. You've got it. And now behave yourselves. All right. In any case. ADIL, I'm looking for a push up here to 50, and I want to take a look back at some point as well at this list that we've been looking at, that we look at every day, because I'm quite aware that I don't get to trade all of them because streaming and executing all of these tickers, it doesn't necessarily go down for me. What's the ticker for NYSE that you just showed? It's if you type in, it is tick generally, but if you type in NYSE, it generally comes up. So it is tick, NYSE cumulative tick. There should be one down there somewhere for the Q version of it. I'll have a look for that in a bit. But yeah, as you can see, that's what I'm saying we have to watch out for, is when we dip below that 1,000 and we've effectively got divergence on it, right? We're not making necessarily, let's have a look at the new NQ. Yeah, so we are pushing down to 1,000 each time, but each time we push down to 1,000, we're getting higher dips, right? And that's the kind of indication that we're not going any lower. And now we're at this 186 again. So let's see if we get rejected on 186 again. So double top into 186. I'm going to keep forgetting to add my stage back. Sorry about that. I'll do that again for you. NYSE tick. So if you type in NYSE, the first thing that's going to come up is tick. That is your NYSE tick data. What I was just explaining, which I'll say again because I wasn't sharing my screen, you get a dip down below 1,000. Huge. That was on the news. Then we get another dip down below 1,000 and then another one. And that is kind of, very, very bearish at the point it does it. But when you look back at the NQ, you can see that each one of those dips, you're not making newer lows. It's not more aggressive, even though the reading is below 1,000. So once, twice, 3 times it's pushed below 1,000, yet it hasn't made a new low. You have some divergence there. And right now, this is all about this level for me. If we can close above, whether we will rush into the 200s and higher. But this level is the key one right there. It's, what did we top out at before? 96. So 96 is being defended. That's the best execution level. If the sellers are done now, that's it. They've grabbed liquidity twice to the low side. This could go for a little run now. As then would all of the okay, then they are going for a little run. I've got Amazon, Microsoft, Nvidia. So let's see where Nvidia got to. Oh, right. So Nvidia is pushing straight through benchmark 2 and its best execution. So it just sold some, but no interest for Nvidia in going lower off of that sell side pull at the minute. This is the last level. It would need to close above here if it's going to go to the next one up at 879. If not, looking to see a big wick off everything. Otherwise, we continue higher, I believe. No worries, you got it. You've got it. Okay, so let's see if I'm moving any closer to my best level. So not at the moment. So I'm gonna remove some of these over to the other side. So I'll leave them. What have I got? 10 minutes. Yeah, so I'm going to move that one over because it's still a level. It can still be used for support and resistance. Unlike the sell side liquidity pools, which kind of once they've been used, they are kind of gone. So I just want to clean the chart up a little bit, really. So not getting anything off a deal. So we'll be interested to see if these initial buyers then on this color change, who would have been aggressive because they wasn't really in the moving averages, their plays actually down here around $2, whether these guys get stopped or whether or not we just come back and hold buy side, which would be sitting right here with the low at 207. But if we fail 208, there's a very high chance we're going to go down to $2 and dip into that buy side pool. All right, so any other futures is the word I'm looking for. Do you look at anything else other than NQ? So do you look at crude? Do you look at any of the metals?
So I was trading Forex up until a few weeks ago. So I've just been sticking with NQ for now, but I'd like to look at crude. And I traded gold through gold paired with the dollar. Yep. But I'm just focusing on futures right now, on NQ specifically.
And when you're doing that, are you doing that with the fibers? I know you mentioned Gil yesterday.
I haven't switched over my account yet, to be honest. So not yet. No. Once they switched off NT5, I moved over to Top Step because I wasn't sure how things were going to work out for Americans with the whole CFD issue. So yeah. I was just sort of, trying to make sure that I was in a good situation. So I'm with Top Step, and they have a lot of different future options, including currency futures. But I had decided to stick with NQ for a bit and focus on that.
Gotcha. Okay, you've picked the most volatile one there. So yes. Yeah, that's and
that can be good and bad, right? It gives you a lot of movement, which is great, but it can also it can really beat you up too.
Yeah, it's that thing can move. That thing's $500 in an instant, isn't it? It's like just.
It can be, yeah.
Okay, so a deal is pushing lower here through that. So these guys have got their stops kind of under the $2 area. So I very much expect this will push down to the 190 now and clean them out. But yeah, that's unfortunately didn't get my my pullback on that to get short. That's my preference. This has happened really quickly, but generally, if it doesn't, you wait for that next one, and this is the clear gap then. That we get, but it has done it very, very nicely on a deal. WNW was the other one this morning, but yeah, that's faded pre-market and just sitting in its buy side. It does have more above, but I'm not sure. Not sure that's going to get there today. We will see, and we'll keep it on the scanner. INAB was another one. That's a nice pre-market foul as well. Nothing to do on that. And DAL. So DAL was a nice pre-market foul and then a retest of the sell side liquidity, and IFBD is still pushing. So we'll keep an eye on this one. Put an alert up there at about 610 and see if we can't get to push. All right, so if a deal is not going to give us a chance to get back short, at least this morning, I'll be looking at that for this afternoon to see if it makes a push out of its buy side liquidity, and also an eye on IFBD still then at the moment as well. So no trades for me yet. So
I'm still watching Microsoft. Nothing has really happened yet, but there was a nice sweep there, and prices holding, but it really hasn't picked up like the move Nvidia and Netflix have already made. So the idea would be at some point maybe the upside would kick in for Microsoft, but right now it's just kind of holding steady.
I gotcha. Yeah, what's that? What's the
Microsoft.
price level there?
sorry.
What's the price level there that's holding?
421.
Okay, gotcha. All right.
There's a little fair value gap here. Been a small break of structure, a small break of the swing high, but it's not a super strong setup. It's just one of the ones that is below the previous day low and hasn't absolutely taken off like Nvidia. You know, there'd have to be a pretty big retracement to get in for me on Nvidia or Netflix at this point. Both of them have kind of shot higher.
Yeah, I might take a look at
Microsoft.
Sorry, go on. Sorry, Deanna, carry on. Sorry.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just saying I might have a look at and see the correlation across Microsoft and the rest to see if they're all kind of aligned, because I feel like it's kind of potentially jumping into a bit of crazy action this morning. So Microsoft, yeah, I think, yeah, see, we're going to have to see a push lower from that best execution level on NQ. Is that still holding?
You're still on my chart.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so we held that level again. Yeah, I think we're going to have to break down over this 82 area to see anything short side consistently on everything else at the moment. So just looking to Nvidia, is that still making a huge push up? Oh, okay, so now it looks like it's acknowledged that sell side and is now below. So if I look on that on any other kind of time frame, it's going to look pretty good as where it all held, right? So let's see what that does now then, because that double hold on NQ. What else have we got? Let's have a look at Meta. So Meta, the same pattern as Nvidia at the moment. Did that make its way? So that hasn't made its way to its benchmark. It's got to its second profit take. Its benchmark was off the chart at the minute. Where would we be looking at? Up there at 525 and a half, let's say 525 for Meta. Yeah, these are all gonna have a pool of liquidity sitting below them that they would need to crack through, similar to the Nasdaq. AMD push up. AMD is already from its pre-market in its sell side, so that's similar to similar to NVDA, has gone to its sell side liquidity. Oh, I wonder if we're going to get a push down on the Qs here. Let's see. Looking for some negative action across the board there. Let's see if we can have a little short on the Qs for now. And AMD's at 169. Let's see. Tesla. Tesla done its own thing. Tesla clearly doing its own thing here. I would be looking for 174, 173 and a half on Tesla to push. Okay, so yeah, we're definitely waiting for something here. It's not it's not the best decision point right now. I think we need to see the break. Just trying to see what time was that close at 1:30. Yeah, I mean, it's not surprising that we're inside kind of the opening range here, but it's whether or not we've got another leg of anything in this at the minute. What you got there, Scott? Apple are looking good to run up as the Qs pull back. Take a look at AAPL rather. What have I got? So new low. I have to get out here for a while on Apple. Yeah, I mean that looks like a great level, doesn't it? It's very, very close. That's not a level you want to crack, but yeah, right now that's sure enough the level right there. Just wondering what I've got on. Buy side. So yeah, huge gap there. If we do fail, I'm just wondering where that benchmark might be from those most recent highs here. If there's any alignment with that at all. Yeah, so 155. Okay, so this is kind of the same thing. The gap play, same as the small caps, but the opposite direction here is that meter the move in the middle down to this benchmark here at 155 and a half. Longer term, of course, right? It's at the moment profit target 1, kind of pulled back to profit target 2, bouncy, and then whether or not we can crack this profit 2 here and break this 168 to get down to 165. So benchmark overlapping with the buy side pull there. That's kind of how I've got. Come grab. Yeah, that's how I've got that. So, but on the small time frame, you are obviously at a level that's been bought up many times. It might be a bit aggressive, Scott, right now, but yeah, it is there, right? It's certainly maybe a little tad below. We'll see what you got, but it's definitely that area. But yeah, I think you're going to need the rest of the market on side for that. Okay. So still playing with this 86, 87 level that's being defended to the downside all the time. I wonder if that's going to crack. Trader Life, what you got? CDA?
Go ahead.
Yeah, sorry, Deanna. Can I carry on?
We're just kind of at a tricky spot because, like you said, we're inside that drop. We're extended to the downside to go short. I would want to see a bit more of a pullback, and to go long, there's some evidence on the 1 minute time frame, but it's still pretty early, churning around. And I would have preferred to see it really crack these levels below the relatively equal lows, and then also this prior swing low back from March 15th. We're so close, with the CPI release, but didn't actually take out. This is a lot of liquidity residing down here. So ultimately, this will make a good target. The question is, where do you get in to be at an advantageous spot to target that area?
Yeah, exactly. And then obviously, it feels kind of all calm at the moment. I'm talking about this 160, or it's now kind of 190. This 186, 190 being defended from the kind of seller side here. But in true Nasdaq style, if that's going to dump, there's a high possibility it's going to wick up first to like 230 up to them VWAPs before it does. That's the thing, isn't it? You never know with the Nasdaq what it's going to have. One of those just sitting there for you when it feels all nice and calm, and then it's going to do exactly what it done at the high. Right, I wouldn't mind betting that you could get one of those before it does that drop. But yeah, let's see what we get. So I think what time we got? 1:15. Let's see if there's I want to take a look back at some of the trades, because I'm quite conscious that I can't get to a lot of these trades that I call out when I'm analyzing them a lot. But it's kind of like when I put these levels on the charts, and you guys can let me know. Like, I draw the boxes because they're key levels for me as I see them. So you can take them or leave them, obviously, in your own strategy that you use. But just looking back at some of them that we've seen over the past day or two or three, maybe. That's AUD, if you remember that one back a couple of days ago. You can see that sometimes we fight these levels at the top, right? So sometimes when we come in, I'm not normally shorting day one small caps, or I'm not, even though they can be highly profitable. Trying to catch them at the right time is difficult, and normally that play at the moment is coming in later in the day. The safer play, when they break, if we put the VWAP on here, like, the safer play is the backside. So that backside, when you close below the VWAP and then you come in and go, right, now I'm looking for a sell side liquidity, there it is at 456. That's the safer play. And you go 456 down to 350. So you get $1 there easier than you do trying to get it from these highs that sometimes get worked. Nevertheless, today, like Adil has given us that straight up, a nice, probably 50-60 cents on Adil if we looked at it. But that's kind of the key, is a lot of these come in later on in the day when they're day one shorts. If we just have a look at LVGN, this is exactly what I'm kind of talking about, that you can get as, let's take the VWAP off so we get an idea. So the benchmark here is effectively correct. We do spike above it and then we come off it. Now, this wasn't too bad on the open, but the fact that it runs straight above and doesn't give me a pullback, so I don't get in. But just look at the play. If you're thinking long versus short on the small caps, we'll go through the ones that we've been looking at on stream for the past couple of days. Let's speed the chart up a little bit more so I don't have to do that every time. So here on XXII, again, a punch into the benchmark. We didn't get the ideal short into the sell side here, but it came off for the rest of the day. And that's what that play does. Wave, I think, was a different type. It was a post-market play, but still the ticker, the name, fades off for $2. RVSN, we were speaking about this yesterday. RVSN on the chart. Everything coming off now in terms of Nasdaq and the Mag 7. So RVSN, we had a trend line drawn in, and I'd looked back to previous spikes, and previous spikes were saying this ticker does not run multiple days, or doesn't even run into the second half of the session. So yeah, we saw this on everybody's scanner again. It keeps appearing on the scanner RVSN, but it was only good for a spike up pulled back to its liquidity pool, and then finished from the day from $2 kind of down to 150. LASE, similar thing. Benchmark play, comes down, anticipate the break of the first buy side to get to the resting buy side liquidity pool where it still resides. This could come back on the scanners again, today, tomorrow, for another push up. But for the moment, that's the play. So you can see the theme that happens on these penny stocks. So this was MDIA yesterday and the day before. We run up, took out 2 benchmarks. So that's why it can be difficult to play this on day one, is because on day one, we get that what looks like the acknowledgement. There was a trade there, but it also pre-market shot up. The pre-market turned into a buy for the session, and it shot up to the next level up there at 650. So you have to, if you are shorting these on the open, you have to cut them losses quickly, because they will. Yeah, they have got legs for a couple of dollars, and you don't want to be in that short still. So make sure you cover them off. So yeah, running through MYMD was another one. Where was our drawing on that? Did we do any drawings on MYMD? Oh yeah, there they are. Another one from yesterday, MYMD up to the benchmark, pull back to sell side, off it drops. So now we've got a deal, and this is today's play. And again, you're probably going to find a deal at some point. Whether we pump, I'm still looking for that short. I'll still look to see if we can get it in this afternoon. I would take it even tomorrow if it done it. That'd be fine as well. But at the moment, the short was on, and it was just very aggressive off that level. And the target's not too far away right now. So most all of these end up doing the same thing, the same pattern, which is they push. They hit the benchmark, or they're hitting that level of resistance, and then they fade off. It's just about catching it at the right time for me. And which one you're going to catch, right? Because you can't do them all at the same time. So let's get back. Where are we at with the NQ, Deanna? What have we got going on?
We're still just kind of meandering around inside. This new candle 4 minutes in is still inside the previous 15-minute candle. It does look like it's making a push to maybe break that swing high over at, 18,208. So if we could get a sweep there, that could potentially set up a potential short. That might be a little bit early.
Okay. Tesla pulling back there. Oh, I'm on the 10 minutes. I thought that was thought more time had gone than that one. So let's see.
Nvidia is looking good too, but again, not enough of a pullback to really get in, and it really depends on what NQ is going to do here.
Yeah, it's a shame we haven't had more follow through from the NQ, which seems to be defending that level once again, isn't it?
Yeah, it just hit that 18,207, and then retrace from there. So if we can get a sweep of that level, that could potentially set up a short, unless we see continuation.
Gotcha. So we got, so yeah, still all about this little gold line here then for me, and it's being worked. And until, it's a shame we haven't got, I'm just waiting for that push, because that's when your other trades are going to come into line. So Tesla, I've got a buy, not a benchmark, I've got a buy side liquidity pool here. Sell side liquidity pool sitting up there at 173.5 if we can get there. Anything on Nvidia from that push? Nvidia, so Nvidia, again, similar sort of thing to what I look for at a benchmark of a small cap to see if it will hold, is the most recent sell side. Can it hold 870? So Nvidia, can it hold this kind of what have we got, 868 to 870? Let's move that over. We know it's there. Okay, I feel like it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or 6 pushes of the NQ to that level now. You'd think it was about the right time to have worked that enough.
Yeah, we should definitely see, some decisiveness from NQ, I would think here. Either going up, taking out that high, collecting that liquidity and dropping lower, or continuing to push higher into that massive drop area. Trying to think of ways to say it other than fair value gap, but that massive imbalance.
You can say it. Go ahead. That's what it is. That's the new name for any kind of price void now. That's it. It's set in stone. FVG. Okay. So yeah, I still think we're going to get that little pop before the drop, but who's to say what will happen? It's just a shame that everything's doing the same here.
If we did get a pop before the drop, that would be great, because then we could actually get involved. It's just when we're sort of stuck in this limbo, it's hard to get involved in one direction or the other.
Have we got anything even? So IFBD, I'm just trying to think if we've got anything on the moving that's just increasing in relative volume or something right now. IFBD, or there's a flash of red across the mag 7 here. Okay, did Tesla push before? I don't think I got a flash on Tesla here. No, I didn't think so. Tesla's the only one I didn't get a flash of red from there. I'm going to put this a lot on because I do feel like that's going to align with these moving averages. If these moving averages push into here and Tesla pushes up, I think quite a few people are going to jump on that bandwagon to the short side. YCBD. Okay, YCBD. Well, that's been on our radar before. What have we got here? So YCBD currently on the scanner up there at 150 for a benchmark 2. And I'm guessing for days off its last. Yeah, okay. So it's just used that area for days. And not surprisingly, because it's been resting down at 90 cents and that's not the idea. So we'll see if we can't get that push up there again. So it made it to the bogey level last time. Didn't make it to benchmark 2. If I'm looking.
Scott had called out Apple, and Apple's on the move.
To the upside, right?
Correct.
Oh, yeah. That was off that support play, right? Nice. Nice. Let's see. Oops. Oh, wow. What happened there? My scale crazily changed. There you go. So, Scott, what would you be looking at for a target on Apple then, out of curiosity? What's your plan there? Oops.
All right, looks like another push for NQ. I think you said there were 5 so far, so this could be number 6. 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, this has the potential to be number 6. So let's see what we get.
Okay, and Microsoft, how's Microsoft looking?
Not doing anything, just kind of meandering around still. In fact, it does look like it's starting to move lower, continue lower.
Yeah, so unconvincing. Look at that. That's Nasdaq's coiling up for something here. It's just a case of when.
That's right.
When did I have? When's my 2 hour?
And we're getting pretty late in the morning too, almost 10:30 now. So, even if price were to take out, it's possible that the afternoon session might be a better time to come back and look for a potential short. Unless we could get a strong push and then, move back lower. But so far, it's pretty uninspiring.
Yeah, I get you. It does feel that way at the moment, but just as you kind of think that it's going to go bang. But yeah, I agree. I don't have another timing kind of line until well, that's this evening for me. That's what would that be? 2 p.m. Oh, it's not that far. It's 2 p.m. this afternoon, as you say. Looking at it, I think we are just are in a bit of a channel here on the downside that I drew in earlier. So in the terms of the 2 hour that I like to look at, so we did FOMC, came back into it, and literally that tag this morning that we popped before we dropped, tagged right into that, and then come right to the bottom of it again. So it might not want to break out of that, but it's just NQ style. It's just NQ style to do that. Come down here, grab, and then go back in.
Someone's calling out Hood and TGT. VSync. Hood is on the move higher. Breaking overnight highs.
Trader Life looking for a fade on CDE there. Just trying to see what we've got. Trying to see what play that is. Have we got? I have so bogey level in the middle there. Yeah, that is a move and a half. Have we had a first red day on this? Is that? Yeah, that's yesterday, is it? Oh yeah, good shout, Trader Life. So it was a double red day, but yeah, I much prefer yesterday's red day to the one before. Yeah, that is a good shout. Let's have a look what we got. It almost confirmed then as well. Almost got that close. Let's see. So tapping into that second area there, right, of liquidity, the zone, the trading view rectangle is just smack in the middle, but actually it's always a little bit higher there. So that'll be a nice play. So that's going in. Nice one, Trader Life. Diana, a question for you here.
Mm-hmm. What's the question?
I saw your screen.
Do you usually focus on single stock or ETF? I typically am trading futures. So I'm focused mainly on futures.
I had an idea that VSync there was Tim by the tickers that he was posting. I had a conversation with him last night. I'm like, that's exactly what Tim said. So VSync is Tim. There we go.
Masquerading under a different name.
He's got me, yeah, because my name in the Discord is WizPip. So yeah, I caught him out yesterday. I was on his video that he was playing out there, and I was sitting in there, and he obviously didn't know. It was. It's just getting me back today. Yeah, I didn't know VSync was you, Tim. All good, all good. So IFBD was the. Oh my goodness! I've got to concentrate more on these tickers that I say. I want to short it.
Oh.
No, see, look, this is what I mean. We had a conversation about trading and streaming at the same time, but I'm going to draw this in just because it's going to make me feel great. It's yeah. So that is my perfect play. All right, that is the high followed by the retest that can't go, and I'm quite specific about these not being double tops. They do pull back to that sell side and they don't go any further, and then there's the play. So all right, I'm not missing the next one. Let's see if we get it again though.
Scott, can you explain on that one? Is it coming into a level of supply? That's why you're looking at that, or what is it about that, that high there that makes you want to look for that lower high eventually?
So it's pretty much anything that is in terms of like execution is formulated. I'm just going to leave it at that. So it is formulated, and it's formulated from a spread, which is an area or a first push kind of thing, an impulse wave from another session. So you'll find I don't show them on here, but I've got an indicator on here where it just shows me my sessions. Now on stocks, it's not so great because, like you said, they're not 24/7, but there'll be a particular session down here that I'm looking for that will indicate that's what you use to look for where the money will run out on any given program, and it's not 100%, and it's not that you've got intraday to deal with and the prior session, whatever day that may have been. But that is what gives me the initial level. So sometimes it's not perfect. Obviously, retail jump in and buy these up on new highs and that sort of stuff. So I'm aware that it's never normally perfect, but that's why I always keep looking for this sell side liquidity to confirm that we've had the push up. It's very near the benchmark 2 here. We've just gone over here by about 60-70 cents, and then look for that next move. But yeah, that's why it's whatever I draw onto the upside is determined from this session or a session within the past couple of days. The lows there.
Okay. We finally just got a sweep on M15. It wasn't much of a sweep on NQ, but it did sweep that swing high from the 945 candle. Starting to get a little push lower, but just the very, very beginning. So too early to tell. So looking at that, what you had before, I'm not sure what ticker it was that you were just showing, but it looks a little bit similar to Netflix, where Netflix has also kind of made this lower high. Is that similar to your levels that you're looking at? I mean, for me, there's no sweep here, so there's nothing really for me to do short wise, but it does look similar on the 1 minute time frame.
Yeah, I think let's have a look. So for me, let's have a look on just seeing everything go red. I just want to check we don't miss something good. No, it's okay. Gone a little bit quiet again. Apple trade's going beautiful, by the way. Not mine. The Apple long is up there now at 168. Yeah, well done, Scott. So for Netflix, depends where we are from down. So let's have a look. Yeah, so from where it is right now on Netflix, I don't see that as being upside at the minute because it's actually in kind of a downtrend. So all I'll be looking at again is the buy side liquidity to determine the trend. So there's one for me there, and it continues up and pushes, and I get another one there, and then it stops. So I look for it for the downside. But if I'm wondering why that's going to stop, obviously looking at a higher time frame here, it would have been, let's put the sessions back high if it goes back that far. It's not the New York one I want, actually. So it's so it's taking into account the pre-market. I don't want to take into account the pre-market. So I'd be looking at this sort of area down here to say, right, where am I going to get to? That up there is the benchmark. I expect, again, the middle of the move, and then I expect some sort of accumulation. You can V top, but some sort of accumulation at the highs before it switches and does it again. And then I'd have another look to see where we are now. And you can see that Netflix to the downside has just done it again. There's the big gap that's nice to trade. It's quick. That's what you get. You normally get a quick push to the first, second target. The third target can take a little bit longer. You can even pull back again. But yeah, that's what I look at now. So for now, Netflix has hit a benchmark. It's got more room to go. It could go down to 600, but that's the sort of thing I'd be looking at more at the lows now then to say, am I going to get that level at the low? So if I drop down to a 2 minute, I've just dropped into a benchmark. Now we're popping.
Check out NQ.
Yeah, just going to say, I can hear we're popping. Okay. Now let's listen and see if that all dries up. Okay. I'll say that plural when you all can't hear it. Right, it's dried up. So it's all stopped at the moment in terms of that tape run. So let's see what we've got. Now they're back on. Google's back in. Right, you got Scott. Okay, I got you, Scott. Yeah. Okay, so coming up, Google's now on. Microsoft is joining. And dries up. Okay, so let's see. Tesla got back to its sell. No, it still didn't. That's odd. So now I'm getting that breadth indicator. Okay, so that's conflicting at the minute. I'll leave that there. So Nvidia, what do we got on Nvidia? Are we missing anything on Nvidia?
There just hasn't been enough of a pullback here. Microsoft was the only one so far that kind of allowed an entry, but for me, I probably would have been stopped out anyway because it did ultimately pull back quite a bit right before it started its run up. Came back pretty much in line with its prior swing low. That would have been hard to stay in. Netflix too, it's kind of slowed down a little bit, but really there's been no opportunity to get long there. I feel like if NQ runs and there's a bit of a pullback, but right now NQ is the one that, we're already starting to pull back below that swing high. So I don't know. Be hard to guess at what will happen this afternoon.
Yeah, it does feel like that's going to be that sweep that we just saw on the NQ isn't actually a sweep right now, is it? It's just a push higher.
At the moment, push higher. Yeah, it could, like you said, it could change. It could change at any point.
Yeah. Yeah, I was hoping for a kind of 1 minute push, wick, spinning top up there, whatever you call it, pin bar. Let's see what we got on the next couple of minutes here. Just wondering if that last push. Yes, it is. Every one of these. So that's when you jump down to this 1 minute. You can see now every one of these is like literally holding without drawing them all in. That one was just a bit close. Each one's holding now. So the most recent one. Okay, Google, Apple coming off, Tesla coming off. Not by a lot though. Yeah, I just think this is the time it's enticing you to to get in, but actually the follow through still isn't confirming short at this point, at least.
It's not either way. It's just so unclear. It's so uncertain. We're kind of at, it's not enough to make it look like it's a reversal yet. We didn't really come very deep into I would like to see it move at least into this level at a minimum to be interested in getting short. And yet getting long here is a little bit precarious as well. Not that you would get long here specifically, but going long if it pulled back.
Yeah, I feel like that's what it's potentially looking for. Let's see what I've got here. Yeah, I think that's what I was looking at here, is how many of these were holding. So for each one of these that I was just drawing in here on the buy side, that's the indication for every one of these I draw. So even though, we've just said, oh, this is tapping in to the same level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. But when you look at how it was tapping in to that level, is consistent buy pulls were holding all the time. And then if I'm not going to draw them in, but I'll hover over them, you can see we were failing. We failed a sell side there. These two sell sides held, and then we've just failed a sell side. So it worked there, failed there. So 1, 2, 3, 4 buy sides working. We've got stuff coming off now. Apple, Amazon, Google, NQ, and the tick is all coming off. Okay, so now let's see what happens on this one. So that's my indication that we are pushing higher, even though the tops were pretty much sideways, is we were failing 2 or 3 sell sides, whereas all the buy sides have held. Now let's see what we get here. Trader Life, what we got on CDE? It's accumulating at the highs there by the looks of it. Okay, more red from Apple, Meta, Amazon, and Microsoft. Just going to look at this on a higher time frame. We must have gone in. Do you have that concept of the middle of a fair value gap? And have we touched into it?
Not yes, but not on the fit. Yes, I have it. No, we have not tapped it yet. So on the 15-minute time frame, it would be a little bit further. What happened to my fair value gaps here? I can draw it in. So we're just a little bit below it. This is the 15-minute. On the hourly, still some room to go. I just think, for me anyway, it seems very heavy. It seems like, short is the way to go with that momentum. But we're just, for me, not at a point yet where I could actually make a play on this.
Yeah.
Looking at the higher time frame, though, it's more interesting to the long side. So if we're looking at, the momentum has been very strong down to the downside for a while now. If you're looking at the strength of the bars, there were, back in early March, there were a couple strong moves to the downside, a couple strong pushes to the upside. But then more recently, we've seen a couple really strong pushes to the downside. So I would be more inclined to look short, but we are also inside this this area here, a bullish zone. So price had broken strongly higher on the CPI news release, broke structure, but didn't close above. So to me, this isn't a super strong zone, but we are right at the bottom there. So if price were to continue higher, you could really make an argument for a long as well, that we might have swept this level and then we'll see a push. Just seems precarious at this moment.
Yeah, every one of those black bars that you've got on there were they were quickly retraced, within what time frame is that? 4 hour, within a half a day, there was pretty much retraced every time, and that's what we're looking at right now, isn't it? There's no reason this should be any different. Each one of those days was a news day or FOMC or something.
If you're looking at it as, so that what I'm using here is an automatic trading view indicator. And, most of the time I like how it draws the lines. But if you were to look at it like this and sort of ignore this little section here, that would make sense to see a move like this.
Mm-hmm.
And then looking at the daily as well, I don't know. Picking a side is pretty tough, because even on the daily, we have this long-term consolidation, and we've been right in the middle for a while. Had visited the lows last Friday, last Thursday, and looked like we were going to be pushing higher because we've just been ping-ponging back and forth. But now we're right back where we started, right? Last week. So maybe that's enough to clear out some of that. It didn't drop below here, which is rather concerning and surprising. But perhaps that's enough to move to the upside. It seems like we still have some liquidity to collect down here, though.
Yeah, I get you. Yeah, it is. I said what you just said there, which is it's still, it done the same as what it done. Mm-hmm. It just keeps doing the same as what it done yesterday at NQ at the moment. It's just it's definitely calling up for something. Mm-hmm. Right, so
big news events are going to bring clarity, and NFP last week and then CPI this week. I keep thinking, okay, we'll get some clarity, and it has not happened.
Yeah, that's exactly right. It's just holding. Yeah, we've slightly broken out of its up channel, but we're definitely holding the lows of its new kind of down channel at the moment. So it seems to be comfortable where it is. So should just, I guess, listen to that for the moment, and perhaps it is just to buy the lows. Who knows? It's that's what it seems.
Well, even looking at the daily has been strange. So this Friday was an inside day relative to the Thursday prior, and then another inside day. So we have inside day. This was an outside day, and then another outside day so far. So it's just been a really challenging market.
Yeah, totally agree. Just not getting that pullback on IFPD. Come on.
Do you have a strong break now on NQ? So we have a break on a closing basis, left a fair value gap. Okay, so I actually missed a trade here. If I were to be trading NQ right now, I would have liked to get short right here. So we have liquidity sweep on the 15-minute time frame. Price broke this prior swing high. Oh, darn it.
Yeah.
And there was a swing low here, a pivot low on the M1. Price broke this structure here with a strong break lower and left a fair value gap. So I had drawn in here, if that was going to be a break or not. And now obviously it was. Plus, in addition, there was a fair value gap. So that makes a perfect entry opportunity where you could enter right inside this fair value gap. And, depending on your risk philosophy or how you like to do stops, if you entered here, how I typically will do it, you can go as high as like the swing high if you want. I would typically be looking at, somewhere relative to these 3 candles, maybe even like something like that would be super tight. And then looking to target some kind of low hanging fruit or something. I mean, that itself is a 1 to 5.5 plus. I probably realistically wouldn't have had my stop that tight, but even if you gave it some wiggle room, that's still a really nice move right there.
Yeah.
But it's pretty late in the morning for me, so not a great scenario for any kind of trade.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I think it's just looking at I'm just looking. So what we got in the chat, I was just looking at something. So Trade Alive, you've got me curious as to the accuracy and the fact that you're giving me the time that you think CDE is going to drop. Now, I've just been looking at the timing bars that I've got, and it's very unusual for someone to give you a time that something's going to move. So I'm curious, where'd you get your time from? What tells you that it's going to be 10:55? I'll give you a minute to answer that.
Scott, maybe it's Roaring Kitty joining us this morning. Roaring Kitty for CDE rather than GME.
Yeah.
We have our own Roaring Kitty in the chat.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I'm curious. I'm always interested when someone says, "Oh, it's going to hit 450 or whatever." You give me a price, fair enough. When someone says, kind of, yeah, it's going to do it at 10:55 today, that intrigues me more than the. Okay. That when you trade the time frame, eh? Okay. Adil, possible fade. Yeah, that's doing that, isn't it? It's Adil. I've got everything's coming off again.
Oh, look at NQ is just blowing out all these swing lows, moving lower, hit the low hanging fruit target.
What is the low hanging fruit?
Just like a structural level that would be, a close profit target. So for me, it's you could have done it here. I look at the candle body low. So, this here, maybe you could have targeted, but to me, this one looked like a nice target. Just it's like a place to take profit quickly, and then I would ideally have another contract to target somewhere else, or just trail a stop and hold for longer. So wow, okay, there's the clarity.
Yeah, there it is. Just look and see how that looks. Yeah, so it was those VWAPs off of the last those last pressure points. It was a 200 EMA on the 1 minute. It was a pop just above that 86 area that was holding. That's kind of what we were saying. Is it going to push up above there and then drop, which is what we've got right now. So now it's, how many of these is it going to push through? Is it going to crash through all of them? It certainly looks like that's what it's doing at the moment. So all I would keep doing on this one is tracking those lows to see. Well, actually, that's not the first thing I would do, because the first thing I would do would be to take the whole lot and see where the bigger box is going to be, to see where that first swing can come in, which is going to be sitting there at 138. So that would be, yeah. And then I'm going to do, it's exactly the same as what I've done yesterday, apart from this is more micro. The bigger one is way up there, as we said earlier. So that's now what we have. So if I move these out, they're both negated. This bigger one now is the one it's got to deal with, which is basically the mix of these two. Right, that's how it kind of works, micro to macro. You could either leave both of these in, or when you go from the very, very low to the very, very high, you get a gap play. So you can see the 28 to the 108 is probably going to be the gap play. But at the minute, everything keeps popping up. It's all ticking off here. Apple, Meta, Nvidia, Microsoft. No, I can't see Microsoft at this point. And Tesla, a little flash of green. There you go. Yeah.
For a change, sir.
Yeah, for a change. Well, we go. Oh, we got another timing comment here. You'll see big moves half the time is exactly the second it hits 11. Don't let the people who play the markets know, though. No, didn't hear a thing. Right. Here we go. So I'm loving. I keep looking at this CDE thing. I'm going to take. Why have I? Was this the one? Okay, so this is a benchmark, right? So I'm going to move that out of the way because I don't like seeing a huge yellow screen. But I'm well aware of where it is. So I do have more upside. Doesn't mean it needs to get there. We've got a beautiful first red day now. What can we get? I'm not keeping you to the minute, trader life, but it's gone 10:55, mate. 4 minutes over. But at 10:55, you got your look into the last sell side there, and a 180 basically on the green red front. So yeah, I don't think it's long here for CDE. Don't want to miss this one. What else we got?
Tim is calling out short on Disney, and that is looking pretty good. Going along with the NQ weakness and there's been a strong break on Disney lower as well. They swept the opening range high, the 10 o'clock high, and it's breaking strongly lower now.
Oh, I wasn't seeing your screen. Just cover that again. Sorry, Dan.
So this is Tim's call, but really nice call on Disney here for a short. So we had a 15-minute sweep of this 10 o'clock swing high. Price swept that level and then dropped strongly lower. So that should be this here. It's the 15-minute sweep. Drop lower, broke structure a couple times now, left a few fair value gaps. This would be a potential short entry in particular. If I didn't catch this, but you could look at a retracement to get short. And if NQ continues to the downside, that could be a possibility. There's a fair value gap right at the 50% retracement level, and also several fair value gaps inside the discount area. I'm sorry, the premium area for a short.
You're gonna have to do a glossary for us.
Which part?
The premium area versus
Okay. Sure.
some of the others. I can't. You don't have to. I'll Google it, but
I can tell you real quick. It's super quick. So when I'm measuring the Fibonacci, if wherever the 50% level is, above is premium and the lower half is discount. So if I'm going to short, I want price to be up in this premium area somewhere. And if I want to go long, I'd want to see price be in a discount area.
Okay, fair enough. Gotcha.
I like to look for a pullback in order to get a better price, whatever direction I'm trying to go.
Yeah, makes sense. Wilson there, MDIA is unhalted. So look what MDI is. That taking another push or a drop? A drop. Okay, so MDIA was one from the last couple of days. Oh goodness, there you go, into its VWAP band and a sell side liquidity pool that it hadn't tapped into. So yeah, nice play, Wilson. Hope you got some of that. That's a beautiful play. Let's say, I bet that was a opening range benchmark as well. Yeah, beautiful. Love that one, Wilson. It's there now. Trader Life is saying, let's have a look. There's your MDIA. Sorry, Wilson, there's your MDIA. Yeah, like it a lot. Straight up there and back. Beautiful play. Backside play. Okay, I'm with. I can't ignore Trader Life here. I've shorted CDE, right? It's just I can't. He's on my case so bad about it, and I'm in total agreement with him on the first red day play that we done. It was a ticker that we done. When was it? I think it's taken a lot longer to play out, but we done a first red play on this ticker here, HYMC. Initial one was here, second one here, but it's still, the target for that one is down at 264. And same setup. Let's have a look on the daily. Here it goes. Trader Life. It's 11:03. He gave me the time from 10:55 to 11:03. And it's just broken its support. I love it. Let's show this up. Respect where it's due. I love the fact you're calling time out here. Look at that. Beautiful. I love it. So Trader Life, was it because it was a first red day? You've obviously had your eye on CED for a while, because this has been going up for days. So what was it? It's had two first red days. Well, it's had more than one, but it's had a really big one here versus the one that it's had here, right? $10.55, $11.03. So get another little pullback on that. Get some to add. Everything's firing off in my here. I've got a red glow coming from the left-hand screen over here. What are we doing? So just a little push into this. So we've made it down to the 139. Get this down on a 1 minute, see if we've got. So bias wise, I would obviously be thinking, oh, this is going to be a continuation of that initial move that's happened. But let's see what it's got. Scott, did you manage the Apple trade out? Oh, okay. Before the switch. Wow, I've gone over time again, Deanna. My goodness. We keep doing this. We get so engrossed in this price action. We've been going sideways, and now for the best part of the show.
Finally got interesting. The price action finally got interesting at the end.
Oh dear. Okay, listen. Are we gonna? Oh, everything's going red. Right, let's have a look here. What have I shorted this on then? Can't see my short on my chart. All right, we're going to do a replay. I'm not sure we've taken anything. I mean, I've literally, but we're gonna play it anyway. Wave is moving up again, Wilson. Okay, Scott. You've just come back to me. You're waiting for the retest to add. So Scott's pretty much go. So Scott, I guess from a market perspective, then you're thinking this is gonna carry on higher for at least the next kind of whatever half hour to an hour to if you're adding to that Apple position down here, right? And Wilson, you've got Wave moving up again. So Wave was one we called. It was an aftermarket play, right? It was an after hours play that, as I just was going through the trades there yesterday, was where was we? So we had an aftermarket. That's the bogey level. So an aftermarket benchmark bogey level. There's another one sitting up here at $6. The sell side liquidity never got tapped into. So there is a 5. What is that? A 450 to 5. And if we're looking at today, oh, it's very messy on the pre-market. Let's use yesterday's lows here. See what we have got. Okay, so the benchmark 2 lines up at 450. Bogey level would be smack in the middle, 423. Benchmark where we are right now. So I'll draw that one in because we're just kind of tipping over it. I won't bother drawing benchmark 2 because it's up there with the sell side. Yeah, so Scott's taking his decision there. He's part of his trade idea there that the inflation wasn't too bad. There was a 1 point off, or so yeah, that makes sense that we're going to have a little bit of a flash drop and then a potential recovery back to kind of where we were, I guess. Trader Life just having some fun here, and that's what you should be doing. That's what we're all trying to do. I totally agree. It shouldn't be too stressful, even though the money's involved. It should be some fun. Wilson is unable to locate shorts on Wave at center point. It's not as good as some people claim it is. Yeah, yeah, that's a center point is a YouTuber's choice, isn't it? Of I hear that a fair bit. But if you are with Trade the Pool, you don't have to get the locates, right? There you go. Okay, yeah, so Wave is pushing there, right? So let's have. Should we do a recap of? Let's get the recap jingle out, and then it just gives us a little bit more time. Okay, let's see what we got. The daily recap. Deanna, you haven't got anything to recap, right?
Not really. We had this huge move down on the CPI news release, and ultimately there was an opportunity, but I think there's just a lot of, reluctance to pick a direction for a long time. And for me, I was a little slow on the move here. There could have been a nice short at this point here, but just have to wait for another entry.
Gotcha. Fair enough. And then all I have here is see, can I drag this one over? Oh, let's put it on the chart as well. 1 second. Because credit where credit is due on the call out of the first red day, which I'm still not convinced is the reason Trader Life was taking this. But yeah, great sell side liquidity set up with my confirmation, which I love, and that's how we do it. So yeah, I'm in there just before the break, anticipating that break, then added on the break, and we're going to see how far we get that down, because when you zoom out on that from where it's come from, it's like, what did the first push, which is coming from $2, that's why I kind of set my targets there. So if I bring that all over from this side, if we're gonna not all day fade, we could fade for days on this, but yeah, back down, looking for kind of 360, 340 to have that buy side liquidity in there. I think that's a nice area to look for a target. If we can get past that 200 EMA, that would be lovely. So yeah, that's my only trade today. We'll let you know how that played out. Well, you'd have to remind me on Monday now, because I probably won't remember it on Monday. Quick look at what the NQ is doing, because that's kind of been what's held us up today. Oh, Deanne, I didn't switch my screen on my recap. Here it is. There's the play on CDE. So initial one accepting the break, anticipating the break, and then the second one is on the actual break of that little line there. But ultimately, it was, for me, a beautiful sell side liquidity pool and a double whammy of confirmation for that drop. So we've got a big level down there today. If I'm just taking today's push, if it did want to go and retest its daily highs or anything, 460. Otherwise, the target is 360 down below that. On the half hour, it's a little bit lower. So yeah, when you zoom out, there's another one sitting right here at 360. So let's see how we do on that. So one final look at the NQ before we wrap up. Yep. Go deep.
Just kind of, made its nice move down lower, and now we're kind of getting into approaching the London close. So for me, I'll be back at 1:30. If you want to come trade with me, you can come check it out on my channel on YouTube, and I'll be back at 1:30. Try to see if I can jump on something here.
Okay, and where can they find you again?
Psychologist to Trader on YouTube.
There we go. Okay, all good. All right, so I think that's it from us for the week. If you want to see any more, you're going to have to come find us. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the session. It was a little bit quiet today, but Trader Life, thank you. I think it helped out with CDE right at the end there. We got into something, but thank you all for your comments in the chat. Who have we got in here? Because I'm going to be missing a couple. Trader Life, yep. Wilson, hey, Scott. Who else has been in? Stock Market Tips and Tricks is in. Yeah, thank you very much, guys. Appreciate it. Tim, or AKA VSync, thank you very much. We know who you are now. And
don't forget Minecraft builds.
Yes, Minecraft builds. I can guarantee they're not still on. But yeah, that's great. Thanks for you all for coming along. We will hopefully see you back on Monday. Give us a like and subscribe on YouTube if you liked it. If not, we'll see you on Monday. See you later. Bye-bye.